I would love that actually.
Yeah.
No, we could post it on my OnlyFans.
Oh, epic.
Smile. Okay. So today we decided that we were going to go through some. So like we had a choice between two topics. We had either sequencing and lane, like basically what ABC steps of how to play your lanes, or we wanted to study how to dive on the fourth minion wave. If you have time and we want to go through diving on the fourth minion wave, we can do that afterwards. But since we have more reacts to doing the sequencing, we're gonna start with that first.
Okay.
Okay, so I will just share my screen. We're gonna watch something. We're gonna watch something. I will share screen. Make sure I have this on my thing too. Window capture. Just do. No, I'll just do screen capture. What am I doing? Okay. Well, rescale this. Scuffed as fuck, but it's okay. Okay, so I was watching Luhan get coached by McBays, so we are gonna watch a clip of something in particular I want to talk about with the wave. So Moon's gonna love this because it's about top lane. Yeah, you're the focus now. So we're gonna watch this. Yeah, we're gonna watch this a few times front to back, and then I'll discuss some things. So it's not. I put it as muted right now, but we're just gonna watch what happens. Okay, so basically, we'll watch it again. From this point. They both make pretty big mistakes. I'll just point them out after. Unless if you want to tell me, or if you think you know, what the mistakes were. Does anyone want to go?
There was a mistake here?
Yeah, if I could tell you, I would, but I have not a single clue.
Bullen, do you know?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so we'll go back. Maybe if I can take a screenshot, I can work with it. Whenever they play.
Taking a trade in a big wave. That's not good.
There. We'll work with that. Okay, so actually no, I don't like this photo. I'm just gonna send myself a photo and I'm gonna draw on it and then
Is the wave too big?
Like, was Riven supposed to thin the wave?
Yeah, I'll just...
Was Riven supposed to all in?
Yes, definitely.
1 sec, let me send myself this screen cap I sent.
Riven was supposed to emote, that's what it was. Okay, I got you.
Currently sending myself.
Special.
Yep.
GG, easy.
Oh, this is super big. How do I make this smaller? There.
I think that's how you do it.
Okay. Well, look at this wave here. So when we look at this, right, I'm just going to point out the minions, right? So what does Riven right now have to do? Or what do you think she is wanting to focus on right now? If you just look at this state right here.
To not let the wave crash on her side, so thin it out very...
somewhat close.
Too many range minions, but it can risk her life because even if she fights in there, there's too many minions on Fiora's side to fight.
You guys are thinking about it a little bit too complex. So let's look at this. I'm I'm just gonna draw on this. So what Riven would want to do right now is she would preferably, if she can, take this. You see my drawing, right?
Yeah.
And then what does she want to do after? Once she clears this, preferably, what does she want to do next?
Kill that one.
Kill this one? How about this one? And then
And
this
that
one is 3.
Yeah.
Right? What does Fiora have to do right now?
Make sure she doesn't kill those 3.
Okay, but that is one thing we can talk about. But like looking at her wave, let's just talk about her wave. What does she want to do to collect CS?
Kill the one behind her, or right in front of her, and then the one behind her.
2, 3, and then it's just like 3 probably here, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at this, right, when we look at the HP bars of the minions, right, we see that this one is lower, right? So it's like almost in like the immediate attention of Riven, right? So she has to take that now or it's going to be gone, right? So she has 2 choices, to take it now, right, or not take it, right? Because Fiora would punish her for that. If Fiora walks up, Riven can no longer take that CS, right? Correct?
Okay.
Right?
Even right now, I don't think she can.
Yeah, right now she can't, because if she walks up, she's gonna get punished by Fiora, yes?
Yes.
So, but does Fiora lose anything for doing that?
No.
No, why not?
Because she has a huge wave behind her.
Okay, what else?
Level advantage?
Okay, not what I'm looking for, but what else?
The side advantage, so she can't be ganked as easily.
Think about more simplistically about the minions I've labeled.
The minions that she needs to kill are very close to her.
Almost there. HP bars.
Q goes boom.
Okay, so basically, like, the HP bars of the minions that she has to collect are pretty healthy, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
they're-
a big wave, so they die faster.
Yeah, but they're, like, not in her immediate attention, right? She could spend maybe, like, a few moments before she has to, like, go and
Let's hit them,
deal
yeah.
with it, right? Does that make sense? Like, am I kind of making sense?
Like, they're not gonna die right now.
They're
is
not
what
gonna
you're
die
saying.
like right now, right? Whereas the green minion that I've labeled here, the one that Riven has to take, is gonna die like right now,
Right
maybe in
now,
like
yeah.
a frame or 2 from now, right? If she doesn't collect it. Does that make sense? Whereas Fiora has more time than Riven has to collect a CS. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so Riven, like if Fiora was just bad and she wasn't like, maybe she was positioned like over here or something, or like, you know, like not on the minion wave, then Riven can collect that CS there for free, right?
Okay.
So basically like that. So basically, like, when you're thinking about sequencing, it's just basically labeling out like what you want to do and what they want to do, right? So Riven wants to take 1, 2, and 3, whereas Fiora has time before she has to collect 1, 2, and 3. So during that time, she wants to look at what Riven wants to do, 1, 2, and 3, so she can punish the Riven for like wanting to do that, right? So the punishment would be that Riven can't get these. She either chooses one. There's two paths, right? So Riven either gets the CS or she loses, like she gets the CS and loses HP, or she keeps her HP but loses the CS. Do you see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? And so the misplay on Fiora's part was like shoving the wave, if you want to go back and watch it.
So does the Riven end up getting those in the end?
Yes.
Hmm.
Right? But if she literally just, right, if we go back here, right, this is where it started. Right? And because Fiora doesn't punish her, doesn't realize, you know, the importance of sequencing, like Riven isn't being punished for this.
She loses like. Wait, she doesn't lose anything.
She doesn't lose anything. But do you see how like important sequencing is? Maybe it's like more so once you realize like figure out what your opponent wants to do, it's you can punish them a lot harder. You can punish them for every single CS, you can punish them for every single like movement input almost. And that's like the difference. Like I've played with like a challenger AD carry and like diamond AD carries, and that's the difference between them, is that like every single thing that they do in lane like matters. It has a purpose, right? So like Fiora just like isn't playing the game correctly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So why don't we look at some other games to go through a few more examples? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions before I move on or something?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is not a roast. I know I'm late. We can throw me under the bus for that. The
Really
clock
did.
in the car is an hour behind. Fucking daylight savings is OP. I literally never adjusted my clock, I guess, so I didn't even realize I was late, so I didn't message anyone.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I didn't. The clock in my car's not automatic, bro.
Oh, okay.
So I just didn't adjust it myself. I drive like a 2010.
Okay.
But yeah, I apologize for being late. It's 100% on me. I definitely should have used my phone and my brain to message someone that was going to be like 10 minutes late or whatever. So we're going over lane sequencing right now. You said, Rye, which
Yeah.
is discussing like the correct way to like kind of ABC, like actually play out the lane, like the first few levels and like etc. This is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that we had a poll to see what people wanted to do. I didn't check the results of that.
Check before I went in here.
Okay, I'm just going to assume this is where we're at.
Yeah.
So I'll just reply and link it. Oh yeah, this is definitely up one vote. We will reply. Here it is. Is this helpful to everyone? Like what we're going over right now, or is it how do I put it? Like, is this information we think we know and choose not to apply, or is this information that we are unaware of and we want to go over?
I want to go over it, and damn you, this game are you see? Oh,
Bro, everyone gets to be roasted by me. Everyone has their turn. Don't worry.
okay.
Oh, what happens here? Oh, maybe this isn't a good game to look over, but maybe there's time here. But anyways. Did you have more to say, Mr. Space Pope?
No.
No, I think I'm confused.
Okay, well, I'll go through it again, maybe explain it differently in a different words.
What are you confused with, Nikki?
I don't understand what sequencing is.
It's synergizing team play.
Well, it's just basically like how to play lane like 1, 2, 3, like ABC 1, 2, 3. How do you play the wave, play the lane? So maybe I'll explain it again, maybe using different words. Well, I actually went on YouTube today to look up if the people had other guides or whatever, and literally nobody had a guide. There was like no videos on this. But yeah, so we're just playing this wave. This is fine right now. Right? And then we'll go to maybe when the lane is... Okay, so maybe we'll take a look at this, right? So at this specific moment in time, right, what is in Jinx's immediately, what is she looking at? What does she want to do precisely in this way?
Minion right there.
This minion right here, right? What about Kaisa? Does she have anything to do right now?
No.
No, right? Her immediate attention would be like this minion here, but she has time before she has to go and like address the situation, right?
Yeah.
So maybe where's the epic pen? Oh, I passed it. Oh, maybe it's not this one. Here, I'll try this. Okay, so basically this is 1, whereas and then 2. Maybe that's not a good place to put it. 2 and 3. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Kaisa, this would be 1, and then maybe 2 and 3, kind of ish, right?
Mhm.
So right here, Jinx has to walk up to take this minion right now. Right?
Yep.
So, and we also see that Jan is in Africa. So Kaisa can literally step up, auto Jinx, no? For free.
Yeah.
For free. Because if Jinx is autoing a minion, can she auto you?
No.
No. Right? So if she is like, and there's like, we all understand like, when you auto something, there's like auto animations, canceling all, whatever, right? But the basic fundamental of that is if she is autoing something like a minion, she can't auto you at the same time, right? So as she's autoing this minion, you can be autoing her, and for free, because literally, like, you don't lose anything, right?
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would what better positioning would be in this lane would be where, right now?
Next to that minion.
Right, next
Like,
to that
not
minion,
left
or
of
like
that minion. Yeah.
right, next to the minion, or like on the wave or something, right? So if you so then you don't have to like, because it takes time for you to walk up, right? Maybe your auto range is like here, right? It takes time for you to walk up, but if you're already standing here in lane, right, you get to auto her for free. She can. So there's 2 choices for Jinx right now, right? So one of the choices is what?
She misses the minion.
Misses
and
the
not get hit
minion
by Kaisa.
and not get hit by Kaisa, right? So she loses the minion, but she keeps their HP. What's the other choice?
She takes it and then gets autoed by Kaisa.
Yeah, she takes the minion and she gets autoed by Kaisa. So which one would be better for? I guess it's not necessarily like better for or whatever, but it's just punishing, right?
Yeah.
Because she has to choose either one, which
Yeah.
is a loss for her anyways.
Yeah.
In that particular case, Jinx can probably auto the minion and Kaisa at the same time.
Yeah,
if
that's
she
what
has...
I'm thinking.
If she has like the rockets, yeah.
Right, but maybe if you're standing over here or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like just positioning yourself in a way you can punish Jinx for taking CS.
Makes sense.
Do we have any questions about that? Is this a better explanation for you, Nikki?
I guess, yeah.
Another one here's old. I know you've got stacks on you, and you don't want to use them on these peasant little caster minions, right? Oh, he's not even here. Well,
Stoltz,
Earl,
yeah,
my bad. Yeah, I just saw his champion and just was not paying attention. But I know it's Stoltz on Nautilus. But yeah, so Earl, did you see the clip that we talked about, like, I don't know, in the past week of Corey JJ using DMAT and hook, or using his stacks in the hook, like, towards the turret, when people are doing lane trades to get free hooks?
I've heard of the concept, the minion DMAT into the hook, but like
So the idea here, and this is a super rough idea. It's level 1. DMAT isn't available yet. Blah blah blah. Right? It's just a screenshot where I see it as applicable.
yeah.
So let's just say hypothetically everyone's level 3. This is a wave that could still happen, right?
Yeah.
What would happen is the ADC has to come up in CS like this, right? Jinx has to come up and hit this. Yeah.
Right.
If she has items or whatever, she might even be able to like watch number 2 take damage and rocket them both down, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what she has to do is she has to step forward. So where does she have to step? Like
In
to
front
do
of that first minion, like number
Yep.
1.
Yep. And so there's stuff you can do where if you're on the same page with your ADC and you're letting them know, right, that you see this angle, you could, as she goes for this CS, use a dematerializer on this minion, right? Because see how he has it in his inventory, it's just not available yet.
Yeah.
And what that would do is, as she's trying to use this minion as a shield from a hook champion to get this CS that she's very clearly either going to get or not, like she's going to either step up to hit the minion or she's going to miss the CS.
Right.
You've used a dematerializer now to challenge her positioning and potentially initiate a really good trade, right?
I see. Yeah.
So that's kind of how that gets used in lane. It's like finding windows like this where they are given no opportunity other than getting the CS or giving up CS for fear of their life, right? And most players, let's all be honest here, in this ELO, they're gonna walk up for that fucking minion even if you demat that minion that they're shielding with, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of part of how that play worked. I only bring it up here, Rye, because it's like an applicable screen, right?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that later, but thanks for
Oh. Well,
you're chilling. You're chilling.
My bad.
No, it's cool. But yeah, like another situation would be like adding on to what Pope said. I remember specifically there's one game I was playing with I don't know, an AD carry, and I was playing Morgana. And basically, for example, right, if you know, I was Morgana here. Let's see if I was Morgana and I was standing like here, right? I know Jinx is gonna auto this, right? Or maybe like, you know, like somebody's standing like here, right? And they're using this minion to like as like a blockade for my Q, right? Since I know my Q's like gonna travel and like, because I know Jinx is gonna kill the minion, I will preemptively throw my Q so that the minion dies as my Q is traveling and hits them. For example, that's just an example. Right, but that comes down to like recognizing the minion wave and what your AD carry wants to do and what their characters want to do, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to explain on that, or does that make sense?
That makes sense with the Morgana Q example.
Yeah. Right, so that's like also recognizing, putting into play like your, you know, ability, travel speed, ping, or whatever, right? So that's just a calculation you have to make in your head before you make that play, right? But obviously, like that concept, like it doesn't even have to be Morgana. It can be like other champions. Like if you're playing mid, or if you're playing like, you know, setting up like abilities or whatever. Like for example, like Syndra stun, right? If you know they're gonna go for a minion and they don't, and they're not gonna respect you, you just stun them and you kill them, right? So examples like that. Do we want another example from this game, or do you want to look at another lane?
This game was rough.
So pick one. Do you want to move on to another lane or move on to another game or something?
We can move on to another lane if you want to, yeah. Because like this lane is mostly Jenna's trying to get stacks by coming up and hitting, and Stolt can go and hit her, and we hit her back, blah blah blah.
Right. And there's actually one thing I want to add to auto attacking. So what happens to a character when they are auto attacking something? Well, most characters.
Oh, they stand still.
They stand still, yes, right? So as they're hitting something, right, they're going to stand still. So that gives you an opportunity to do what? What can you do while they're standing still?
Harass them?
Harass them, right? You can auto attack them, or if you're a support, for example, if you're playing Soraka, you know she's going to auto a minion. You are already standing there to Q them because they're standing still, yes?
Yeah.
So yeah, any, like all abilities should be like easy to hit on targets that you know will be standing still at this point in time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. We'll look at well, we basically already looked at AD and support. Let's look at Nikki. View profile. Oh man, you don't have any games. What is this?
I've been fucking busy.
Okay, well, we'll look at maybe another person's games. I don't know.
We look at a Haitani game.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any games.
He doesn't have games before patch.
Yeah,
Look at his VOD from what's it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can look at my stream.
Oh yes.
Just don't look at the Zeri game, yeah.
When I got that DM, I wasn't even mad. I was like,
I
I'll just
literally
see
stopped
it,
paying
man.
attention to the game after that. Like I just turned my brain off. I was just running, kill people.
This is post game.
Yeah.
Fuck off! I'm voting for Nikki.
Yo.
Are we excited to fucking play playoffs for this series, man?
It's a whole
Yeah.
week off, man.
I'm ready to shit on everyone.
Can I fast forward through this? Okay, Zoe's just letting you.
She's actually trolling. That's her idea. She's trolling.
Okay.
We've looked for 4 seconds. And Zoe is griefing it.
Where are the autos?
Right. So, what do we know
Watch
about?
her Q and everything. This is so bad.
So, what do we know about ranged versus melee matchups?
It's so Pepega for Haitani.
Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah, hi Tani. Why does melee versus range suck for you early levels?
Huh? I get shoved in. I can't fucking play the game, man. I let this fucking shove into my tower if I don't want to die.
Okay. What else?
What do you mean?
Besides, like, why would you want her to let her have her shove in?
Huh? So I have a
Because
longer
she
lane,
can
so I
punish
can
you on
kill her.
every lane, or punish her on every
Every
CS.
action, yeah. Every action she can just auto you from like
Playing
2000
range
range.
versus melee is having it to your tower and then chasing her down like the dog she is.
Yeah, but Raya is asking you the question of like, what is she going to specifically do that makes it hard for you in lane if she plays it correctly?
She's gonna play between my mid wave, try to look for sleeps, and I mean if she is like dominant level 1, then she just she plays in front of my wave and I can't get CS or like XP.
Yeah. And she can throw like auto attacks at you and like pull the wave and stuff and like make the minions like really unfair for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the basic fundamental would be that she has a range advantage over you, which means that when you go for CS, she can punish you for that. So she can auto you for taking CS. That is the basic fundamental of like any range versus matchup. Any range versus melee matchup, yes?
Yeah.
Right? It's not Zoe specific, it's not like Yone specific, it's just any ranged versus melee matchup. That is the basic fundamental that can be applied to every single game. That this is the case. Yes? Right? So like whatever I'm teaching, I hope that like you can take that and apply it to every game from, you know, from today forward. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So in this case, we'll just watch this and see what goes wrong.
Mrs. Q.
Okay, we'll talk about it. So what does Zoe do wrong? If someone else's, or I guess if we were playing Zoe here, what would we be doing instead? We'll talk about that.
Autoing the shit out of Yone.
Yeah.
Right, so when Yone goes for, I guess it's like grayed out, but we kind of see it. When Yone goes for this CS, we don't want to be in Africa. We want to be like hitting him for taking this minion, right? Nothing should be free in this lane, right?
Right.
So right now, I guess like the sequencing in this lane would be Yone is taking, this one would be 1, right? This minion here, 1. And then this minion here would be 2, and this one would be 3, right? Because of their health, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Zoe here would have 1, this one would be 1, this one would be 2, and then she would have no 3 at the moment, right?
Right. Yeah.
And this like 2 that she has to take is not immediate. It's like half HP right now. So like she can take that, a second or 2 from now, and it'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
So since she has a free window to do whatever she wants, right? She can be like standing up here, looking to like auto the Yone when he comes in to take the CS. So for Yone, his two choices are to take the CS and lose HP, or keep his HP and lose the CS, right? So that would be the two paths. And the Zoe basically did not force the Yone to make that choice.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, he got the CS while keeping his HP. So.
Right.
Yeah, let's play this clip for a second, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yep, because she's able to trade a CS there even with Yone, because the way we take it, and she's not really punishing Haitani, right? So what should we be doing when we catch a mid laner lacking like this, and we know we're not going to be punished that hard in mid, right? Like this right here, this first wave tells me this Zoe boosted. You know what I mean? So what is something that we can think about in a lane matchup when we realize, even if we're at a disadvantage early, that this player is like not going to play the game correctly?
Ask for vision and hover, so I can play like a monkey and ooh ah him. Or we
Like
just kill him.
we have opportunities to do a lot of things, right? So it's not always just all in, right? I understand assassin brain, me Yone, me kill, but sometimes you could probably do things like how would I put it? You could probably pull this wave and freeze it, and all she's gonna do is just like try to ram Qs into it at range, right? But not actually know like how to break the freeze correctly, yeah? Because she's already you're full health, right? She's like afraid of you. She's playing so far away from you. She won't even auto the CS correctly. She's like terrified of you. You're giving her a lot of space here, which is fine because you're like assuming she's a human, but she's telling you that she's not, right? That Q hits nothing. She's like
It's
uh,
nothing.
yeah, like you know. So what we could do is, this wave approaches your tower, you could actually just build a slow freeze and just continuously trap her in the lane for jungler support attention.
Then I can call jungler support to hold freeze while I base, huh?
That's something you could do as well. But like realistically, you could say, hey, on the cannon wave, she's gonna have to crash this. So, and like, you know, how long does it take for the next 2-3 minion waves to come up, right? Because it's gonna be wave 3, wave 4. She's gonna have to crash. You can hold this here until then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much time that takes?
No.
Okay. So does anyone here know the time between minion wave spawns?
30 seconds.
Okay. And so we have 2 more waves to come, and we see one is on the way, right? We can see one traveling, right? So that'll be here in about like 5 to 10 seconds. And so we have another 30 seconds after that. So like 40, 45 seconds, we can probably commit an all into the Zoe if we want to, right? We can communicate that off these first 3 minions, that literally within a minute, this Zoe dies or gets her sums blown, right? So that's something that we should be expressing to our teammates, where we're like, this guy doesn't know how to play the lane. I can see it off these 3 minions because I think about how this lane works. She is not thinking about how this lane works, and she's terrible. We're going to kill her in a minute. Can we path here for like an early gank, right? Because you could say by the 4th wave, right, the wave after the cannon, jungle can be anywhere, right? Now, could the jungle technically 4-wave crash bot while still doing his top side? No, because he started bot side jungle this game. But realistically, the jungler could arrive in your lane or top lane for that play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the first camp, the first 3 minions, you've already identified a potential like advantage you could build on this guy and like really like shove him in. Like, has anyone here laned against like high GM players, like low challenger high GM players at all?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
They punish you for every CS, right?
yeah.
Like
You
they
don't
make
even
you
know what you don't
they,
even know.
they make you fight for every fucking minion, yeah?
Maybe you don't
Yeah.
recognize it, but maybe you feel it, but you haven't like put it into words, right?
Yeah. So these are like foundational blocks to look at as to how they're coming to those conclusions to know how to punish you and stuff. You can keep going, right?
Yeah, I was done looking at mid, and I was gonna go look at maybe another top lane game.
Oh, I don't have any game either.
No games?
Oh my god.
Maybe he gets let off the hook this time. What is this? Unfortunate. Okay, maybe we'll go to YouTube and maybe we'll find some examples of like Challenger, Korean solo queue, and we can take a look at how they played the game. Yeah?
P1.
Let's look at a oh, I got a fun one. We could look at a bin or Ole lane from LPL.
So
Here,
what is
wait.
that?
I'll
What?
wait. No, I got you. I'll grab a lane right now.
Right back.
YouTube, I got you.
Are you sending this to me?
I'm finding it. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I'm just clarifying.
Oh, what am I hearing? What is this? Mullen, what's going on over there? You okay?
Wait, what?
Your
He's getting
microphone
something out.
sounds like it's in a blender.
What doesn't? Did anything change like since?
It sounds like it's maybe not plugged in all the way, or your cable's tangled or something. What was the game that I just saw? I'm gonna go to the LOL esports schedule while you're looking, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at maybe if Haitani either ever pans top lane or something.
No, I have complete trust in him. I know he's winning.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It just, the cord was maybe tangled. It's like the static noise you get when like a cord is fucked up.
Yeah. It was not that, but I know what you're saying.
What was the game that I watched where? It
Oh,
was
I
like,
can send. I'll send you my Smurf name. I
Wait,
played on
what's-
this one. If you want to look at one of mine, right?
Sure. You
Here you go.
enjoy those O's.
Yep.
I pulled up a game. Let me find a spot for it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at GP games.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what's going on? Just
I know.
chaos. Maybe we'll go back. Sound.
Already 3 kills. Interesting.
I have an Israel jungle. That's things that happen. And a cinchman.
Right, that's fine. Right? Why was that fine?
Because he lost HP for that minion.
Right, so you're punishing him for taking the minion because you know for a fact he's gonna go take it, right? So all of them are getting low, right? He's going for this right now. So you do that, right? So he loses HP for taking the minion, and then these are gonna be your next priorities, right? Your next sequence in the lane is this.
Or get
Nope.
an auto if you're a
Nope.
psycho.
And then we choose to not back off and take the minions, and we get harassed for it. Yes, you see that?
Yep.
So taking the first
Q.
like punishing, that is fine, right? But you wanna, right? This also like leads into because of the sequence of the lane, you have to position in a certain way. Does that make sense? So the sequencing is the fundamental, and how you wanna accomplish the sequencing is building upon your knowledge of what you want to do in the lane and what they want to do in the lane, right? So he wants to take the minion, right? We know he wants to do that, and since like we have time to punish him for that, we go ahead and punish him for that, right? But then we walk up to him for zero reason. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So that's your mistake. Whereas, we walk out bush, hit him, we walk back, we walk back and we take these 3 CS for free.
Yeah.
Right? And then after you take these 3 CS, which that might mean that you have to give to let the Shen take the next 2 because you have to take the 3, right? That's fine. But then, you can rinse and repeat, right? When these get low, right? Then you rinse and repeat punishing the Shen, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So we'll just watch through it one more time. Right? And because we could have just walked out, walked back, right?
Yeah, right here I can still get probably a 3 I've done.
Yeah. So was that a worth trade for you?
I mean, it was fine, but could have been way better.
Yeah, it
I
was
lost
fine,
even
but it was
Yan.
definitely not optimal.
Yeah.
Right? You could have gotten 3 free CS. You also autoed him for free. He gets to miss the next, I don't know, 2 or 3, but that's based on like the choices of what he chooses, but we don't get to see that. But the most important part here would be like you get the 3 free CS, you poke him, and you are full HP. Right?
Yeah.
Do you want to look at another one example, or are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay, we'll look at an example that Space Pope has sent me.
Yeah, Bacon, you're good. It's like the same temp in my room, dude.
It's AIDS.
It's mega AIDS, bro. Go.
Alright.
It's fine.
I do understand the concept here, so and I'll still watch a YouTube video for it if she posts it.
I mean, if you play jungle, it's not it's not that
No,
important.
well, you see, if
yes
it's
and no.
jungle, right?
It kind of is. We're gonna talk. Can you stay for this one clip, Bacon? Actually.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so we're gonna watch about 5 minutes of this, 4 to 5 minutes of this, and there's gonna be a bot lane 2v2. Okay.
Mhm.
So we can talk about these lanes. What do we think about Aphelios Renata versus Lucian Nami?
Right now, Aphelios' weapon guns are kind of bad. Like, until he gets his red gun 10 more ammo down, he can't really play.
There it is, yeah. Oh, wow.
It's actually just ADC gap.
Yeah, so Lee Sin is waiting there to like do something, right? Because he expects Lucian and Nami to all in because they understand their lane matchup. And Lee Sin doesn't have to show because they actually commit to playing it safe, even though Lee's not in the vision, right? It'll pan back to bot lane in a second. They're just showing some crab trades. Yep, here we go. It's gonna be some nonsense here, and it'll pan back to bot. But yeah, so even as a jungler, it's about understanding lane states and matchups,
Yeah.
right? So like realistically, Lee Sin is in a good spot there after taking a camp, because bot lane could have been all in and killed, right?
Yeah.
Like at least Aphelios could have died to Lucian Nami at that stage. And so they wanted to punish like an aggressive bot lane play.
Is there more?
Yes, there is. So they catch the recall, they try to crash the wave, right? This is like the right thing to do here. They're able to get into this bush. They think, okay, purple gun stun, we can maybe force flash or pressure. They want to leave, right?
You want me to fast forward?
Yeah, go ahead. Till we get back to bot lanes like reuniting again.
Is Hunter like late, or is he just not gonna be here?
He asked for a recording for this today.
Oh yeah.
Which is why it's cool if Bacon has to go. Junglers looking at lane states is mildly less important, but it's still important because that helps you understand like when you're supposed to play to a lane, right? Understanding how lanes like work and things. Like here, Victor wants to get like a shove. Oh, fucking lag. Victor wants to get a shove. Ornn is literally going to use his ult just to crash and force Kale's flash on the E stun there. So check this out. They actually get iBoy's flash right away. What do you think they pause it really quick? They just get both sums. What do you think they should do?
Look for dive if they stay. But Lee's kind of on the wrong side of the map for it.
But do they know where Rek'Sai is? We saw Rek'Sai in Vision a minute ago. So realistically, they know they're in an isolated 2v2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Rek'Sai pushed mid, went top. Lee Sin pathing top. Kale just lost flash. Lee Sin's probably going to go try and bail out Kale. Both top leaders want to reset. So they just got Lucian and Nami flash. So you think they could 2v2 dive this, or do you think that they should back up and take the flash advantage?
I think with Lucian being as low as he is, being sumless,
Mhm.
it's possible.
Because that's a purple auto
Especially with
traveling to Nami
Renata,
right
yeah.
now too. Right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, play this out.
Next con is white, so yeah, they could look for a dive if they want to.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. That's just a regular wave. That's just 6 minions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gets an auto. Even takes a turret shot.
That's
just kind of
fine.
testing the waters, right?
They didn't get the play.
We see. I know. We see. It's because they're fixated on this dive, right? I agree. They should have gotten the plate. But they're really telegraphing they want to dive this. Rek'Sai's trying to come down, but she's likely not going to make it in time. So they know they have to just start trading right now. They use the Renata W, and
They
get
get it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yep. Now
And in
Rek'Sai
foul.
cleans this up because LPL gameplay, but that's the only reason Rek'Sai makes it to this dive. Like bot lane basically tells him, "Look, bitch, we're fucking diving you." You know what I mean? Right? So this is just what game knowledge does. Yeah, it comes off of like a bot lane play. Jungle's rotating to top off of a top lane play. Now bot lane knows that they're at a disadvantage. Aphelios and Renata start hammering their advantage, right? And then they're like, all right, we didn't get the dive there. We're coming for it, though. We've chunked you enough to where we think we can get the kill, right?
Yeah.
Like Renata kind of doesn't get the flash Q there because she's a little bit late. I think she could have gone early and hit it, but that's okay. Yeah, and so now they're like, okay, like, hey, Rek'Sai, whatever you got going on, like, top just wants to back anyways, or no mana, like, just get the fuck back here, like, please, like right now, Rek'Sai, please.
Yeah.
Like we need bailout, like stat, like who can get here. So they've got this minion to go, and do we know what the next minion wave is? What's in it? Regular wave, cannon wave. It's regular wave. Yep.
Next is cannon.
Yep, the next one, the one the one at inhibitor is cannon right now.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rek'Sai has to get here before the cannon wave. They know or can assume that they have to make the play because they just went for it, right? So they're just committed. This is psycho LPL gameplay that I don't expect everyone to do. Nor do I think it's always accurate, right? But this is like a sequence in which like they know they're being dove, right? Like Lee Sin stopped them from being like killed when Lucian and Nami have like level 2, level 3. And then due to what happened on the top side of the map, Aphelios Renata know that they are a point of power. They start to pressure it. Lucian and Nami call that within the next 2 waves, they're going to die, right? Someone is dying in this lane. And so they, as quickly as they can, send a person to this lane to help them out. Don't look at Renata's bone plating. Even Bjergsen had it today. It happens, man. Understanding your lane and how it goes and like what the matchups are and how these trades work is really, really important, right?
Yeah.
But how does that relate to sequencing? Or is that something that you wanted to just like talk about?
Well, it sort of did. Like, watch this first wave. Right?
Yeah, so like yeah, I guess like if we break it down more so.
It's how it leads up together, right? This is like a 6-minute long play that bot lane is having. It looks like a little dance, but this is like a very predetermined play. These players are talking about this on comms 100%. And that's what this level of play looks like. Even if these are like lower tier LPL teams and they're sloppy with what they're doing, I'm telling you, high level teams are talking about this shit like now on comms. Minute 40, they know by this timer, like this is happening, right? Because this is where like Lee like bails them out like soon, right? He's pathing to bot to save them, etc., etc. And they're watching their lane sequencing, yeah. So they're just like trading here while they have a healthier minion state, right?
Yeah, so if we watch here, right? So like this minion here, I hope you see my cursor, right?
Yep, we
Lucian,
see it.
do you see
it.
how he needs to take this now or he loses it?
Yeah.
Right? And what does we'll watch what
Aphelios were not up here,
Aphelios
yeah.
does. Do you see that?
Yeah.
We saw
Yeah.
that, right? So now they have nothing to do right now immediately, right? And since he has a range advantage, he gets to auto them for free because they are just Pepega right now. And they respect that and they back off.
All right,
Yeah.
I go
Yep. Later, Bacon.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
You see that? Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wants to take that one, whereas this minion, the blue minion that Aphelios wants to take, isn't in immediate danger right now. And Lucian wants this minion here, and instead, like, he chooses to take the minion but lose HP for it.
Right.
Or I guess he just chose neither.
Try to auto, yeah.
Try to auto him back, but Aphelios has
Longer
longer
range.
range.
Yeah, the spacing on these people are just insane, I guess.
Right? And overall, they come out on top because of the range advantage. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And he's respecting the Lucian Nami right here because of they're like
Level
walking
two.
up, and he also
Yeah.
realizes that, like, you know. Right. And then this is how, like, adding on to like how the jungler can get involved in like sequencing, right? You realize like I guess like, you know, when, you know, we already kind of use that in the game when we talk about like, hey, when they're gonna go for this cannon, we're gonna look, right? So that's already kind of applying what we already know, even though we haven't like formally put it into like words or a concept, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, Space Pope?
No, not really on this. I mean, I just thought it was like a nice little lane clip to like see some high level players actually executing it, not only from the first wave, but all the way to level 4 and 5 when they play a dive, right? Like it was as much POV as I could see from like an actual casted pro game on bot lane, right? Where it was like applicable, because a lot of the camera is just on bot lane here throughout it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically it.
Yeah, too bad they didn't pan back bot like earlier, cause right, he gets like really chunked. Maybe it's because like he wanted the minion or something. I'm not sure like what his idea was. Maybe it was the cannon actually.
Definitely.
Yeah, he gets chunked because yeah, he takes the cannon in exchange for his HP.
His flash.
Yeah, his flash, HP, cleanse, whatever, right? Or he cleansed earlier, but you get the point. Right? Do you see how like overpowering, like knowing what your opponent wants to do and their sequence and your sequence? Because you literally have nothing necessarily to do right now, right? But then we commit to this play because we see an angle. But whereas if like we could just take in his flash for free, right, and take in the cannon if we chose to, but you know, this looked like the optimal play here, and you know.
And think about it. These are professional Chinese bot lanes. Yes? These are
Yes.
LPL bot duos.
Pros, yeah.
Nobody plays the game perfect. Ever. Right? Like, it's important to think about that. It is impossible to play this game at 100% efficiency at all times. It's not possible, because if you play like that, it's actually calculatable, like what the most optimal play is at all times, and you can snub those people with suboptimal plays and differences. You have this variable called a jungler that can make weird routes and punish people who play like robots. You know what I mean? So it's almost impossible to play League perfect all the time. So like, keep that in mind, right? These are pros in the best region in the world of the 4 major regions, and like, they did not play this perfect. You know what I mean? But they had an idea and they commit to it the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a good bot lane to look at. But that's basically it on this game.
Yeah, that's pretty
That
good.
was actually that was a really fun series to watch. Game 1 was a little bit Resident Sleeper, but game 2 and 3 are a lot better.
Anything? I guess like I personally have nothing much really to talk about. But do you have any questions or concepts or anything about it?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions before we do anything else here?
No, Mama Papa.
Okay. Hi Tani, how you feeling, bud?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I'm not muted. Okay. Yeah. I'm
Yeah?
feeling okay.
Okay. Any of this like still like real esoteric and weird, or you're like, does it make sense?
I mean, I think I like kind of like I generally understand the concept, but I don't know how to apply it yet.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know how to apply it like in my game yet. Like, I have to play it and like try to apply it, you know.
Yeah. So the idea is, I mean, you're looking at like even that level 1 wave, right? Like the first wave, I mean, it's every wave, but you know, from the moment you get to lane and the minions arrive, you have to start kind of assessing this kind of stuff. And I know that we're going over kind of what would be like basic concepts that people talk about, which is like trading in lane during CS and things like this. But we're structuring it up in a way that is how do I put it? Like applicable in using real games, right? Like, we're not just making doctored footage. We're grabbing like our games, players' games, pro games, etc., and using live examples, because people will make mistakes in every situation, right? Like, I could sit here and critique, oh, this guy didn't do this, blah blah blah. Like, you're forced to play the game reactively, like all the time. It's always a changing environment. So it's just trying to teach like the awareness to like really think about how lanes are actually played, rather than just like, oh, if I let him push wave, I go past wave and I kill him, hee hee. Like, when not every champion is Silas, you know, like, so it's just important to like look at the importance of like how these traits work, and how we can be the benefactor of people messing up or disrespecting like champion matchups and like wave states, right? And like how it's actually played. You get in the habit of like applying it and practicing it, and because this is like how would I say, we're studying what will be like applied as passive knowledge. Yeah. So we're actively going over and thinking about something now that we'll more often do in like kind of the back of our head while we're playing the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to a degree, we all kind of know how to do this based on the champs that we understand, right? Like, you understand a matchup between Ari and Silas. Like, Adrian understands a matchup between like Kai'Sa and Zaya. You know, like we understand like Fiora, Camille. Like, we know how these lanes work. So it's just kind of like being cognizant and like taking a second to actually study it, so we understand the information like fully, so we're improving our passive knowledge while we play, and it will help us communicate with each other just by understanding like how the game is played and what these things are, you know. So but yeah, I know that you're saying it's a little bit highbrow and maybe it's a little confusing, so you're gonna have to see
Fill it
why
out
am I
for myself.
Just play like 1v1s in the mid lane and just practice it, right? So maybe we'll, I don't know, would it help if I show like more examples from the mid lane perspective?
No.
I don't think so. Some people are applied learners. He gets what we're saying, but he has to go like try it out for himself. But I just wanted to like touch base and see. But are we all pretty like good on this?
Yeah.
See,
Okay. Do we want to take like 5 minutes or so? Get like water and stuff?
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Clash is in.
Are
Yeah.
we gonna do Clash? Because we have to
We
do.
don't have a jungler.
I
if
can play
we-
jungle. Smile.
Rise
mean-
Kindred.
I can play jungle too, but like
Titani can jungle too.
if we play Clash, we have to do it like at lock-in because I don't have that much time.